Powerful indeed, and Congressman Gregory Meeks was seen just standing behind John Lewis. He was one of the sit-ins, and he tweeted at the time, "GOP has turned off the cameras, but America is watching. Retweet if you are with us as we demand a vote on gun violence." Congressman Meeks joins me now live from the Capitol. Welcome to the program. That was dramatic. It had all the aspects of a tipping point. But will it actually make any difference? You have ended your sit-in.
Well, I think it will make a difference. You know, the only thing I said wrong last night in my tweet was that America was watching. The world was watching. And I think what the world saw last night was democracy, number one, in progress. But as John Lewis has indicated, when he crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge, it took him 3 times to do it. So this was the beginning of crossing that bridge. We're going to get across that bridge. So Speaker Ryan could have shut it down and did not allow a vote last night. But we're taking this to the streets of America for the next week. And we do believe that by the time we get back, we will continue the demonstration of what we have to do, and the will of the people will have to be done. And we're going to get a vote on background checks and making sure that people that's on the no-fly list cannot buy guns in the United States.
You know, you mentioned that. It would seem like the ultimate common sense to ban people who are on terrorism watch lists or no-fly lists, particularly, obviously, after the latest massacre down there in Orlando. And yet it still hasn't happened. But just in the last few minutes, we see Republican Senator Susan Collins in the Senate proposing her own version of a gun control bill. Can you tell me what you expect to come out of that? And will it get to the House floor?
Well, we're hoping, again, that Speaker Ryan would allow it to get to the House floor. See, at least on the Senate side, they had a debate. And as a result of that debate, they are now able to talk among one another to see if we can cure some of the issues that some of the senators have. Now, I'm hoping that if they are able to do that and they're able to get a bill out in a bipartisan manner on the Senate side, then it will come over here and at least we can then debate it also. Because the issues of which I hear that are contentious among some of my colleagues dealing with due process is clearly something that we can resolve so that we can make sure that if someone is on the list improperly, we can fix that and make sure that they're off, but those who belong on stay on and they can't buy a weapon. So I'm hoping that we get something out of the Senate and we can do something here in the House still.
Well, regarding exactly the mechanics of what you are talking about in terms of who's on the watch list and who isn't, this is what yesterday Congressman Ryan told our colleague Wolf Blitzer. Listen to what he said about the issue and about what you've been doing on the House floor.
If a person is on a terror watch list and they go try to buy a gun, we have procedures in place to deal with that. We want to make sure that those procedures are done correctly, and that's something we should be able to do in a calm and cool manner without these sort of dilatory publicity stunt tactics to try and bring a bill that already died over in the Senate to the House floor. That's not any way to bring up bill to the floor.
There are 2 issues there, Congressman. One, he says you do have the ability to stop people on any terror watch list from getting guns. A, is that true? B, he accuses you, and I believe the Republican mantra has been that this is nothing but a publicity stunt.
Well, obviously, that is not true. And if you don't believe me, just ask the FBI or anybody in our law enforcement, and they will tell you that it is not true, that they feel helpless at times. The individuals like the one that were able to get a gun in Orlando because they don't have the time and the ability, based upon how the laws are set up now, to do the kind of checking and to make sure that those individuals don't get guns. So it is not true. They know it's not true. And so we've got to move forward in that regard to fix it. And I think Republicans understand that also. Okay. Secondly, I said insulting in regards to calling this a publicity stunt. Mr. John Lewis don't have time for publicity stunts. You know, when he marched in Selma, what he's doing now, it's serious business about getting a message across to the American people and let everyone know what we need to do.
Congressman, it was really invigorating. You saw one of the Congresswomen, Tammy Duckworth, who used her cell phone that was, inserted into her prosthetic leg. leg in order to be able to take this message out of the House and to the world. And the world has been galvanized by it. Is it an exciting moment? And given the fact that the majority of the American people believe in some kind of sensible gun control with background checks, again, do you believe that you have the momentum? Or do you think they're going to say, oh, you're just, you know, publicity stunts, and give them a reason not to do business with you on this issue?
No, it's a historic moment in the United States of America. It's a historic moment in the United States Congress. It's a historic moment in the United States House of Representatives. Never has this happened before. We had thousands of people outside in the rain, just staying up, waiting, just as we were still urging us to keep the floor. And as I said, the entire Democratic Party is united. We're not allowing this to end. We are just now taking it to the streets. So as we leave Washington, D.C. today, members of Congress will be going to various states, whether it be Missouri or Kansas or California or Virginia, North Carolina, Mississippi, New York. You know, they're going all over the place to carry this message, which will give us even greater momentum when we come back to Washington, D.C. on July the 5th.
Well, you've got your work cut out for you, Congressman Meeks, and I believe the world is watching. So thank you for joining us, and good night. Meantime, in Venezuela...